Yeah, we've covered a lot, but I suppose hopefully you're understanding that we are creative, that I create, that we create, I create my life, and that sometimes things create life for us, and that's why we want to become deliberate, conscious creators, so that we are creating for ourselves. And third and fourth level is we are co-creating with people that think and feel and are conscious. So that's how it all works. What we're going to do for the rest of the programme, and then in the afternoon you're going to use the material, is looking at the ways that we create. And I kind of want to talk to you about two really profound ways. They're kind of obvious ways once you see them as obvious, once you become conscious of them. And the first way that we create is through our words. And then the second way we create is through our perceptions. And then the third is vision. And we're going to cover all of those off as we move through the course. But I think what might be quite good is that words are powerful creators. So words create, and the words I use create. But I want you to think of beyond that. How else do we experience words? How do words show up in our life, these powerful creators that are words? How do they show up? How do I experience words? I speak them. Yep, news, online, so I'm reading them. Brilliant, they're written. Excellent. I feel them, hear them. Brilliant. We're listening to them. So when we use words, we say words are powerful creators. You know, I want you to think about it in this expansive way, that we talk about words as the spoken word, but unconsciously we're absorbing the energy and the vibration of words in lots of different ways, through the materials we read, through things we hear, through things we watch. We see words, don't we? We read stories that paint pictures in our minds of words, or which is the news, or, you know, if you're reading a good storybook. So, you know, words are powerful, but I want you to expand your idea of words, because they're coming at us from lots of different ways. So Megan, why don't we play this wee video, and then it's just, I think, 5 minutes, and then we can have a chat about what it means.
Just tell me where you are. Good, but hurry with it, please, because these models are giving me a headache.
10 minutes!
Comes to us from Japan, and Mr. Masuro Emoto. Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the 4 elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a dark field microscope. This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and left them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. But if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do...
I'm just jotting things down. It's amazing, isn't it, when you see that again? It makes you think. You enjoy that? Okay, well, look, before I throw my wee view in, I have and love that book, Justina, which you introduced me to. Oh, that's Dr. Emoto's book. Yes, it's amazing. That's great. I'm going to put you into gallery view. What did you hear, or what did you see, or what did you feel, and what did you experience that is connected to creativity and what you're creating? So think about that video and think already, based on what you've heard or saw, how is that video connected? Give me some ideas here. Yes, right, Nolene. If you just unmute yourself, Nolene.
Hi everyone. 90% of our bodies are made of water. So the words that we hear have a massive impact on our bodies and how we feel.
Yes, absolutely. Did everyone get that? That depending on how hydrated we are as well, she said 90%, 80%, but depending on how hydrated we are, which is interesting, that water and the words affect the water. Brilliant. Did you make any connection, Nolene, with that and the shape of the water?
Yes, when it's positive and love, they were beautiful. They looked almost like Christmas decorations. They're absolutely gorgeous. And when they were negative...
For you, with a name called Nolene, Nolene was named, I remember you telling me this, because you were born, was it a day or so before Christmas?
21st of December, yes.
So the
Christmas baby.
Mm.
So they're so pretty and clear. And then when it was negativity that was either labelled to the water or thoughts about them, it looked dark and mottled and all narrowed. So it's having that contrast with and the relationship with our bodies as well. So what environment, whether it be our thoughts or what we hear or what our surroundings are sounding like, can have an impact on our bodies.
Yes. Brilliant.
It's also very much, sorry, I hope you don't mind me saying, very much, we're very quick, as particularly females, lots of gents as well, to say, oh my God, my bum is big in this, or oh, look how fat that, you know.
Yes.
It's always thinking, would I say that to someone else? No. So why would I say it to myself? Just being aware of what you say to yourself.
It's your own self conversation. That's great. Can be positive or negative. Brilliant. Thank you, Nolene. That's great.
Thank you.
Does anyone else want to add anything in? Am I seeing Liz's hand there?
Hi, yes.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, I agree completely with Nolene. And I thought it was interesting that as she walked through and was looking at the various images, if we think about our emotions and our feelings, right at the end was something quite vile, quite hateful, quite fearful. And she barely glanced at it and came straight back. She skipped thank you, came straight back to love, and it just shows that the power of love. And to me, it was the prettiest symmetric shape as well. You know, it had so much detail to it. And I think it's also that symmetry. I think when things are going well, everything is quite symmetrical, isn't it? When we're in that positive vibe, everything's balanced.
Yes.
Whereas when you looked at the negative, it was all over the place. There was no actual shape, but it had changed colour. And it reminds me of your raisin earlier on when you were talking about how it changed colour. When we took
And
all
shape.
that positive energy out of it. Exactly. So, you know, I just thought that was really interesting, that
No, that's great. Actually,
balance. Yeah, the balance is quite
Yes.
symmetrical.
yeah, that is a great observation. Thank you, Liz. That's brilliant. Anyone else got any observations or comments? Nettie?
Hi everyone, you okay?
Oh, that's lovely. What a nice.
It just really made me kind of just check in with, like, as like the previous two ladies have just said, about how you talk to yourself. It's just, it's mad really, isn't it? When you just look at it in just that such a simple form like that, that why do you talk to yourself like that? You know, what are you actually doing, like, with yourself? And it's just mad that you can just change those words, and then you can just do so much for yourself as well.
Yes.
It really did just make me go, wow, like some of the stuff that sometimes I say to myself, you know, that's not right, you know, I need to change that 100%.
No, that's a great observation, Nettie. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about the power of words to self. So I think the fact that you're becoming conscious of how our chat to ourselves can be very negative, but it's very unconscious. When we become, look at this, when we become conscious of this, we're horrified, aren't we, that we would actually talk to ourselves like that, but that's because we're conscious. We do all of this when we're unconscious, you know, when you're just like getting caught up with the vibe and the energy. So that's a great point. Well done, Nettie, thank you. Anyone else got any observations or comments?
Hi, Christine.
Oh, hi, Gillian.
Hi. The observation that I had was the blessing and the love were very similar.
Yes.
And it made me think, imagine if you were just in an environment that was having blessing and love, like how different children would turn out. And even the corporate world, when I think of the corporate world, imagine if they were implementing a strategy, a blessing and love, like how that would transform conflicted departments, if it was coming from the top down. So that was my kind of thoughts that kind of came out of that.
Yeah, that's a great thought of an observation. Thank you, Gillian. Yes, I mean, even listening to you making that idea, did everyone feel it? The minute you actually proposed that as an idea that the corporate business world would take on some kind of blessing stroke gratitude environment, we all felt it. So again, the power of thought connected to emotions, it's amazing. Definitely, and blessings really is just gratitude as well, isn't it? It's just counting your blessings, but I think that's an important thing as well, the power of language.
Yeah, positive, constantly speaking positive,
Yep.
positive language.
Yeah, so no, that's a brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for that. It's a great idea. And that's what you've been thinking about, isn't it? In your own, now that I listen to you, in your own work environment, you've been trying to encourage this kind of harmonious chat amongst people and seeing each other. So
yeah, I just think the corporate world in general is quite quite conflicted. Like there's a lot of conflict going on, a lot of different personalities, especially if you work in a large corporate arena. It's quite a challenge, you know what I mean?
And I think as well, based on the environment, you know, if that was going on in general, you know, add fear, unknown, you know, I can imagine. I mean, I'm self-employed, so I get to create my own energy, my own harmony within my own environment. But I can imagine, you know, if you had disharmony and things before, add in all of that. So this is a great idea.